Welcome to Make Your Mark podcast, where guests share their experiences, insights, and tactics to help you accelerate your business. So building, scaling, and monetizing your business is made easier. And I will be your host, Suthar. Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness. I have an awesome guest for us here today. His name is Ken Attard. He's the founder of Mindset Malta and the Inside Lane. After successfully working with various clients over the span of 15 years, Ken now specializes as a mindset consultant, specifically helping entrepreneurs get out of frustration, adapt, and pivot using his proprietary ARC method, allowing them to have more time freedom guaranteed. Ken brings to the stage his personal experiences, not only as a mindset consultant, but also as an entrepreneur, father, and guess what? A human being, just like the rest of us. He has a firm belief that his life is not meant to be difficult or a continuous struggle, but is meant to be fun and flowing, full of new experiences that are fruitful, abundant, and inspiring. Please welcome, guys, Ken Attard, founder of Mindset Malta and the creator of the Inside Lane. Ken, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's great to be here, and I'm really looking forward to offering some what I believe is valuable information to your listeners. Thanks for having me.
Most definitely. Oh my goodness. I am so excited to have you here because we did have a short conversation prior to this, like I do with most of my guests that come on. And the things that you were telling me, I was like, people need to know about this, right? Mindset is so crucial, not just in business, but generally in life, right?
Absolutely.
And it's basically the engine that really gets you going. And so I was like, I had to have you on here, Ken. And so I've got a few questions for you here today that really gets into the nitty gritty. But before we get into all of that, tell us a little bit about yourself and really how you stepped into this business.
Well, really and truly, I stepped into the world of personal development, let's say by chance, in the sense that I going way back to 2005, I came across network marketing. Some people know it as multi-level marketing. And as many people know, personal development sort of like goes hand in hand with that. And basically, I started listening to CDs at the time, MP3s, and I won't go back as far back as cassettes, okay? And I was listening to speakers, and I got really intrigued. And you mentioned something about, wanting to get the information out there. One of the things that really intrigued me at that time was that I was listening to information, and I was saying to myself, how is it that nobody teaches us this stuff at school? Because it was so pertinent to life in general, and taking and really getting hold of an element of control of the way you think to create the results that you want. And literally from there, I just continued to delve into there because of the nature of the business of network marketing at the time. I had to be in front of groups very regularly, and groups of people anywhere from, I know, a group of 40 people in my office at the time to 400 people in an auditorium. And I was just really, I really felt it was something that resonated with me, that it was something that I could do. And I've just carried on from there, and just basically carried on for the duration from that time onwards till today, continuing to learn. And personal development has really become a part of my life every single day. Yeah. And that's how I find myself in front of you today.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Personal development, there isn't an end date to that. You continuously progress and, grow as a person, and it never ever ends, right? So I love that. I love the whole personal development spectrum. Like, it is the main thing that keeps you going, right, and helps you succeed. So it brings me to learning more about your superpower. So I heard you had the ability, Ken, to help entrepreneurs find freedom, right, and that's time freedom, and then also feel good about themselves at the same time. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Well, see, like I basically I help frustrated entrepreneurs to adapt and pivot their mindset.
Mm,
Really, so I can say adapt and pivot their business. In some instances, that it might involve adapting and pivoting the business, but more than anything, it's adapting and pivoting their mindset towards their business.
right.
So essentially, I use a proprietary ARC method. I've called it an ARC method for the simple reason that ARC, in the architectural world, an ARC is a very, very solid foundation. It's one of the strongest foundations that you'll find in architecture. And basically, the ARC method is a very, very strong foundation for your mindset. And the components of that are made up of 5 pillars in the ARC method. And essentially, it's interesting how time freedom, after doing a bit of research and a bit of surveys with a number of entrepreneurs, I realized that time freedom was one of the results that many entrepreneurs wanted to achieve. And we're finding it really challenging to achieve that. It's amazing how an entrepreneur will start their business for the simple reason that they have a great idea, they believe they have a great idea, and they want to present it to their market, be it their local market, be it the world, be it wherever their market is.
Right.
And essentially, most entrepreneurs start their business because ultimately they do want freedom.
Yeah.
So some of them have, let me use the word, escaped the 9-to-5 job. They just wanted to get away from that. They felt there was more. They had a great idea, and they wanted to have the time freedom. They wanted to have financial freedom. They wanted to make a certain amount of money that they believe they deserve to make, so that they essentially could enjoy life. I mean, and we all want that. For the most part, most people want that freedom. Yet so many entrepreneurs then end up going down what I call a rabbit hole, where they end up working 12, 14, 16-hour days, and not for a short period of time.
Yes.
It becomes the norm.
Yes.
Because there are times as an entrepreneur where you're maybe going to have to dedicate a little more time to your business. But when it becomes the norm, now you're going down a road which becomes very, very incongruent with the values that you originally started your business from. Because you said you wanted freedom, yet you no longer have that freedom, right? So essentially, you're going to have to.
I'm really glad you mentioned that, right? Because one of the main things that I know I'm approached with, and I'm sure you've seen hundreds and thousands of this, is that people do decide to go into business because they want more time freedom, and more money freedom and all of that. But when they get into business, all of a sudden they're doing like 90-hour weeks, and all of us, yeah, and
yeah. And the amazing part is this: for those of you who are listening right now, and you're going through this right now, I want to let you off the hook. And I want to let you off the hook for this reason. Because for the most part, entrepreneurs have been taught this way.
Mm.
From the outcome, entrepreneurs have been taught that they need to make sacrifices, they need to struggle, and they need to suffer. And so if you are taught that from the outcome, I mean, you listen, even when you listen to, and I say this with the utmost respect to teachers out there, because there's some amazing teachers doing amazing stuff. Yet from the outcome, you're telling someone, listen, if you want to become an entrepreneur, be prepared to suffer. Be prepared to struggle. Be prepared to make sacrifices. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't some elements in there. Yet, when you are already telling someone from the outcome, you are installing that. You are literally programming them to equate suffering, struggling, and sacrifice to success.
Yeah. And you know what? It's so funny that you mentioned this, because I used to work in a school, right? And I saw this with my own eyes, and it was like, no, you don't want to start your own business because it's not secure enough. You don't know when your next pay is going to be coming through. You got to put in so much more hours, just get a job. And it complete opposite. Right?
Yeah. And what really needs to be understood is who is actually saying that, the perspective they're coming from, because potentially that is their insecurity and the fact that they haven't done it. There's a great line in the film Pursuit of Happiness, where Will Smith turns to his son, who they were just on the basketball court, and the son is really like, visualizing and enjoying himself playing, and he's imagining himself being a pro basketball player and saying what he wants to do and become a pro basketball player. And his father, Will Smith, in the film turns to him and says, listen, you're never going to become a basketball player. Forget it. It's just never going to happen. And then also has an awareness immediately and turns to his son and says to him, never let anybody tell you that you can't do something, including your father. Never let anybody tell you that you can't do something, because the only reason they're telling you that is because they can't.
Right. And
this is so important, because as a teacher, like you're saying, who are in very powerful positions, because literally, and as parents are literally programming their children, you're installing this in their brain. And this is one of the things that I'm out to shatter. This is why I know that an entrepreneur can have time freedom. I'm just out to shatter the thing that you need to suffer, struggle, and sacrifice continuously. You don't. What if it could be fun? I ask you that. What if it could be inspirational? What if it could be fulfilling? What if it could be easygoing?
Mm-hmm. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with going against the grain of what everyone else said, right?
Absolutely.
Be that rebel. Be that person where everyone is telling you, no, you can't do it. It's not possible. It only happens for certain people. It's luck. Go out and show them that you can totally do it.
And why is that so important? And this is key in one of my programs as well. Why is that so important? Because that shows your authenticity.
Yeah.
That shows truly where you are coming from and what you are aligning with. So the minute you can, like you said, if you want to call it, be a rebel or have the confidence to potentially speak against the grain, what everybody else is doing, that is being authentic to yourself, which in today's world, that's a huge weight off your shoulders, because there are so many people living facades and not living their true authentic self.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's funny because I actually recently had a conversation with it was actually yesterday, where someone came up to me and they were like, oh my goodness, Kay, I think I might have to go and apologize to this person. I was like, why? They were like, well, you know what I'm like? I just say it how it is. Right. And I think it's upset them. And I've kind of gone like, hold on a second. Was what you saying offensive? No. Was it the truth? Yes. Is it there to kind of help us see a different perspective? Yes. So why would you apologize for that? Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's really interesting. I was just having a really interesting conversation with my daughter yesterday about people being offended. Yeah. Because a lot of, really and truly, when people make offensiveness, for instance, that they make it about the other person.
Yes.
So the other person was offensive. Mm-hmm. Now, I can understand that sometimes people can maybe say things that maybe aren't the most, let's say, resourceful. Yet you have to look at yourself and say, okay, if I've decided that this is offensive, I've obviously created some sort of story in my head. I've created a story in my head which has created and made this offensive, because potentially the person didn't have that intention. So, and that story in my head is going to be based on many things. It's going to be based on my history, based on my beliefs, based on my past experiences, which aren't necessarily always the truth.
That's right.
So something that, that's why it's so important for yourself to always look at yourself. Nowadays, whenever something that, quote unquote, happens to me, or I'm in a circumstance or a situation that potentially I think is unresourceful or I didn't like or something, I actually stop now and go, okay, let me look at myself. Now, how have I brought this on in one way or another? Potentially unconsciously, potentially with what I've been thinking recently. How have I brought this on? Even if it's as simple as, dare I say, a cough. Jay, dare I say a cough? How have I brought this cough on? Is there something that I've been wanting to say to someone that I've been holding back on?
Right.
That is causing this sore throat? Because everything that is happening on the outside is a reflection of what's happening on the inside.
Most definitely. One of the things that I've learned, especially, so I've got so many different coaches around me, and they're raw and they're real, and they don't stop at anything, and they just say it how it is. And in the beginning, it was very much like, oh my goodness, why are you talking to me like that? Like that's just rude, right? But
Yeah.
in time, I've learned, instead of getting offended by it all, just ask, okay, so I'm not seeing that. You're telling me my head is stuck up my ass. Explain that perspective, because I'm not seeing that right now. Explain it.
Yeah.
What's going on, right? And just asking the questions and getting a different perspective is always an eye opener, because a lot of the times we don't see things about ourselves, but other people do. And so getting
Absolutely.
just asking those questions as, why are you saying this to me? What's going on? Helps you become more aware of yourself.
Absolutely. It's so, and this is why it's so essential to be willing, at least the way I see it today, being willing to have someone who can give you a different perspective.
Yeah.
Just because you've done something in a certain way or have an ideology about something in a certain way doesn't necessarily mean it is the best way. I see this with, even with parents, for instance, and I'm a parent. I have a daughter who's turning 29 tomorrow, and 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 I have my ways. I have my ways, and as parents, we want to guide our children. We want to, and we have the best of intentions. Yet, does that mean that she or he is not going to find an even better way? Maybe they have a perspective that is, I couldn't even have imagined.
Yeah.
So we guide and we allow people to offer their perspectives. And again, this is where the offensiveness comes in. Like, just because someone's offering you a different perspective doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be offensive. It's different.
Yeah.
Now, it could resonate. Just as people are listening to us here, there might be someone listening to me and saying, listen, this really resonates with me. I'm going to take what Ken has to say and I'm going to start to apply some stuff. Or there might be some people who walk away and say, Ken really doesn't resonate with me.
Right.
That's not my business. It doesn't matter. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's really okay.
That's right. Definitely. You're not there to please everyone. You're there to please your actual raving fans at the end of the day. So that's an interesting conversation. Like that we actually got into this whole, just being yourself and being authentic. So tell us a little bit more about you, Ken, and tell us what actually qualifies you as an expert in this field.
Wow. This is really interesting because I do my best. Honestly, I do my best to actually avoid using the word expert on myself. Like, I have no problem in you saying you're an expert. And the only reason is that as you have already and very rightly mentioned, that this is a continuous journey. It's a journey that never ends. And it's sort of like, when someone decides that they're the expert, they potentially put themselves in a position where they're no longer in a position to learn more, because they've decided they're the expert and there's nothing more to learn. So now I'm not even listening to you. Hey, I'm the expert. Yet, right? Like, I don't need to listen to you. I'm the expert. You have nothing else to offer me, which I know is not the case. We're just talking about different perspectives. And it's a journey. It really is a journey. It's been a journey since, like I said, since I first, 2005 got and started to get involved in. Now, previous to 2005, I was already an entrepreneur. I was already delving into. I'm 1996. I was a company director. Didn't have my own business, but I started to get involved. And then by 2000, I was completely out on my own. And this is why I believe I qualify, is that I've continued this journey of learning. I've also become a master practitioner in neuro-linguistic programming as well. It's been a continuous journey for me throughout. Like I said, is part and parcel of my life every single day. Now, that really in of itself doesn't really mean anything. The crux of it is that what I have learned, whenever I learn something, I apply it in my life. I apply it in my business. I test it. I see whether or not it works or not. So this is where, if you want us to use the word expert, where my expertise comes in, is that I've been through the channels of what an entrepreneur can potentially go through. There was a time in my life when I thought for a little while that I was going to actually lose everything.
Right.
And turn things around very quickly. And I only managed to turn things around very quickly because I had some people who were guiding me. I had mentors who were guiding me, who were teaching me, who were getting me to look at my crap. Okay? Because so many people are not being totally honest with themselves, including entrepreneurs, not being totally honest with themselves. And what they do is they have a pile of shit in front of them, which they're candy coating.
Right.
And they're looking at the candy and saying, no, I have a pile of candy in front of me. When in actual fact, no, you don't. You have a pile of shit in front of you, which you are candy coating. And until you get ready to honestly look at yourself and remove that candy and start shoveling that shit, which I've used 3 times in a row.
And it's fine. It's okay.
Right. And it's perfectly fine because I'm seeing uncensored here.
Yes.
So,
definitely.
right. And now you can actually, when you actually start to look at it, you can start to shovel that shit so that you make room to move forward. And I had people help me with that. And that's where I learned and turned things around very quickly, because in the meantime, I had been delving in personal development and learning about my thought process and how that works and how it's affecting the results and the experiences in my life.
Right.
So this is what truly qualifies me to be able to teach what I teach, is because I make it a point every single day of my life to learn something new. And amazingly, by repetition and actually listening to stuff that potentially you've already listened to, you uncover another layer.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah.
And do you know what? First of all, I just want to put it out there and say to people, look, if you find swearing offensive, then the podcast for you, right? I'm all about being uncensored, just being you, being authentic. And besides, who said shit and fuck are bad words?
And also, and all it does is I had a great mentor of mine, one of my first mentors as well, is still a mentor of mine. I've learned so much from her. Where she said, I will only professionally use a bad word or foul language or whatever you want to call it. And there is a specific reason why. So just notice for yourself, those of you who are listening, that when I use the word shit, or when Kay, wonderfully used the French word fuck, did you get uncomfortable? Were you uncomfortable with that? That potentially could show you how flexible you are.
Yeah.
Or not flexible you are. Or notice why you got uncomfortable with that. Why is it you got uncomfortable with that? So it's amazing how that could actually is professionally used. Is it always necessary? No, it's really just for accentuation. It's just for making a point most of the time.
It helps you with, I guess, it just gets you out of a mindset that you're in, right? Because my coaches, one in particular, Tim Johnson, who is my business partner, he's also a co-host of this podcast as well. He's constantly swearing, and he was like, I'm never going to stop, because it shifts the mind pattern, right? Every time.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
Can he stop if he wanted to?
Good. I really don't think he could.
I'm sure he could.
Stages.
If he wanted to.
He speaks on stages, and that's all that comes out. Like, we have to say to him, I have to say, Tim, the crowd that we have in front right now, they're Christian folk, right? You need to kind of tame down the language.
Tone it down a bit.
Yeah. And then he was like, okay, got it. And he might just swear twice that time.
Yeah.
Right?
It's okay. It's all good. It's all good.
For it.
Yeah,
but
it's all good.
Him. And you know what? I appreciate that, because he's just being him. And it does kind of like throw you like, oh my God, why is he speaking to me like that? But it's okay. It's all right. And it's got nothing to do with you or whoever is talking to at all.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. It's no different than, it's interesting that you're mentioning this, because it's no different than, it's only because of the meaning that people put on it, right? Yeah. So you say, you say shit, you say fuck, whatever it is, people put a meaning on that. Mm-hmm. So it means something to them. And that's why they create that picture, that movie in their head. It's no different than if I say the word to you, God.
Yeah.
People will put different meanings on it.
Right.
But it's just the name.
Even get offended with God because they don't believe in God.
Yeah, and that's okay. But remember, God is just the name. It's only because of the meaning you are putting on it. Because I could say God, I could say divine, I could say source energy, I could say energy, I could say Gaia, I could say quantum field, I could say Bob, I could say Bill, I could say Jane. They're all names. They're just names. It's the meaning that you are putting on it that is making the difference.
And
it's just your perception.
Yeah, and if something does make you feel comfortable, maybe change the meaning, tweak it.
Yeah, or look, yeah, and that's about, that's about flipping perspectives potentially. Yeah. And again, it ties in with your beliefs.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I love this conversation we're having, Ken. I feel like we can go on and on here.
We could.
But I will have to go to the next part of this episode.
Yeah.
And that really is, Ken, teach us a principle that we can learn and relate to and immediately apply today.
Brilliant. One of the principles that I love to teach right away is this, and I just want to give a bit of a background so that people can understand where I'm coming from with this. Okay. And it's nothing that a lot of people probably haven't heard. Yet most, even entrepreneurs, do not realize or do not understand the thought process that is going on. So essentially, your results and experiences that you are having in your business, in your life, are the byproduct of the way you think. Yeah. They're the byproduct of the way you think. Because the way you think creates an emotion. That emotion, very simply, is either a good feeling emotion or a bad feeling emotion, just to make it really simple. That good feeling emotion or that bad feeling emotion is going to lead to the type of action or behavior you are going to take. Feel good, take an action or behavior that is aligned with feeling good. Feel bad, an action or behavior aligned with feeling bad. And then ultimately that action or behavior is going to lead to your result or experience. Really simple. Really simple. So ultimately, if you want to change, if there's a result and experience that you're not happy with and you want to change that, you got to go right back to your thinking so that you create a thought that is good feeling.
Ah, okay.
So what does it tie into what someone can apply right now, even in this very moment? Appreciation.
Ah.
The minute you go to appreciation, whether it be just you wake up first thing in the morning and you're appreciative of the bed you slept in last night. You're appreciative of the fact that you can go to the bathroom and have that available. You're appreciative of the fact that you have food in the fridge, that you have something to drink. You'll find something to be appreciative of because there's many. But the minute you go to appreciation, you elevate your vibration, your frequency to create a good feeling.
Right.
Now I'm setting the tone for the day.
I see.
And I've gone to that.
So should this always happen in the morning and not before you go to bed?
So my suggestion is that you start off doing it that way.
Okay. But
then you can be appreciative throughout your day.
Right.
I love to get clients to actually start to elevate their appreciation so that you're walking into a meeting, you can have appreciation for the fact that you're going into this meeting, that possibly you're going on to a next business opportunity. There's all kinds of things you can do that throughout the day. You can, and this is what's so interesting, because if we want to talk about time, because entrepreneurs are talking about never having time and going, and this is one of the things that I want entrepreneurs to understand. You do not need to be going all the time. Even though most have been taught, you got to be taking action, got to be taking action, got to be taking action. What if throughout your day, even if it's one of those challenging days, you just stopped for 1 minute and showed appreciation for whatever it is you want to show appreciation for? Take 1 minute. It just brings you back to the present moment. Which,
I like that.
Amazing to learn.
That is
And you can do that throughout the day. And you obviously, before you go to bed, you can do that. You can do it whenever you want. But if someone has no awareness of that yet, to get them started, what you can do right now, it doesn't matter when you're listening to this right now, you could just stop and be appreciative. What does it do? Elevates your frequency, elevates your vibration, because we're all vibrating. And appreciation, for those who don't realize, is at the same frequency as love.
Ah, interesting.
It's the same frequency as love.
Wow.
So essentially, you put yourself there. And like I said, I say at the beginning of the day, because even as you're just waking up, you're still in that state where you're not totally awake. So it's your brain waves are slightly slower. They're in a theta brainwave or an alpha. They're between theta and alpha. Still, you're not quite awake. Yeah. And so it's a slower, so you can allow that appreciation to really, really, you be absorbed by that appreciation, and you literally start to set the tone for the day. A really easy example to use as well is that some people will wake up in the morning, for instance, and something immediately doesn't go quite right. I don't know. They stub their toe.
Right.
And they automatically say, oh, great, it's going to be one of those days.
Yeah.
You've just set the tone for the day.
That's it. Yeah.
So the same thing you can do, it is the same thing the same thing that you can do, with, setting the tone for the day, that, this is going to be one of those days. You can say, oh, I just appreciate the pillow I just slept on. This is going to be an amazing day.
Right. Yes. And how simple is that? Oh my goodness.
Right? Really simple.
More like that to really change how your day, your week, your months are going to turn out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you only have this moment. You only have this moment. And this is what it's so important for people to understand that, for entrepreneurs to understand that, because many entrepreneurs are chasing the end goal.
Yeah.
It's not the end goal you want to be chasing. The end goal is the journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
So be present in the moment. Be present now. My purpose in life right now, this very moment, is to have this conversation with you, Kay. When we are finished from this conversation, I will move on to the next task, and that will now be my purpose in life.
Yes.
And then the higher purpose will start to unfold on its own.
Right, right. Now, Ken, I know you have worked with many, many different people all over the world and had a lot of different clients. Tell us a few success stories that you've had with some of your clients recently.
Recently, yeah, really interesting. I've had a couple of ones. I had a lady who is a company director, and she came to me, and I had known her before as well. And she's a lady that's got a lot going on. She's got a lot going on, and she was always constantly concerned, worried about that she's not going to get enough done today, and always thinking about, what's the next thing that needs to be, what needs to be done tomorrow and the day after, and always, and there's a lot of scurrying going on, and I could relate to this because I remember being like this as well. And she's been in the program now for probably about 8 to 10 weeks, I think it is.
Okay.
And she's come to the point where she's literally said to me the other day, she said, you know what? If I get this done, I get it done. But if I don't get this done today, it's okay. There's tomorrow. and what's so amazing about that is the calmness behind it. Yeah. Right? And realizing that, and realizing that it's important for her to, that's another thing she mentioned, that she's actually, so even coming into the program, for instance, she had to make it a point that she was going to dedicate time for it.
Right. Yeah.
And she actually decided, you know what, that day, from this time onwards, I'm just dedicated to that.
Right.
And she puts everything aside, which is an amazing, you have to understand how amazing that is, because now she's actually setting time aside for herself, to love herself, to take care of herself, and realizing, this is the great part, realizing that she's still getting the rest of the stuff done.
Awesome. Yeah.
How amazing is that? Another guy I have, a really young guy, really young entrepreneur, up and coming entrepreneur, wants to be and studying to become an online trader.
Okay.
So within 3 weeks of being in my program, he was in a job. And within 3 weeks of being in my program, he was really skeptical about the fact. He said, listen, Ken, I'm really not happy where I am, but you know what? I really don't think I have a resume to move on to other things. Oh. I said, who decided that? Like, where did you get that belief from? Right. And I said, listen, I said, let's do this. Let's just get the resume out there. So within 3 weeks, he had 3 or 4 different offers, moved on to another job, which was better paying, which is actually going to allow him to learn more about what he was actually studying, so that he could move on to become an online trader and his own boss. Yeah. Now, the amazing part of this is not just that. That was wonderful. Yet, where he went in his new job, this is the part that's so key. We had already been working on values and understanding about values.
Right.
And being authentic to yourself and your values. This new job he went to was not resonating with him. He couldn't understand it. He was actually feeling sick going to work.
Oh my
because it was not resonating with some of his core values.
Yeah.
What I thought was amazing was that he had the awareness to realize this.
Wow, yes.
To make the decision to say, you know what, I can't stay there. Move on, and decided he's going to be more and more focused on his online trading.
Wow.
And actually started coaching football with kids because it was one of his dreams to actually do that. And it wasn't, he didn't think it was going to be something that was going to be easy for him to find at first, but he made a couple of connections and is actually now being paid for that.
Wow.
Along with having the time to actually study more for his online trading and move. And now I'm pretty sure early this year, he'll actually be trading online to create the business, the six-figure income that he has decided he wants to create for himself.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. You know what? Both of them, they were powerful. Oh my goodness. And it's almost like you're not doing it for them, but you are the catalyst of helping them see a different perspective and being aware of themselves and what's around them and what's actually possible. And I love that. That's amazing. Now,
yeah, absolutely.
At this point, people are thinking, oh my goodness, how do I get hold of Ken? How do I work with you? So tell us if people can go and reach out to you.
Well, there's a number of things that they can do. One of the things that that I'd like to offer your guests is that they can actually go to I have a free consumer educational guide on how to step into the magic of the successful entrepreneur now.
That is
That's a free consumer educational guide. And for them to get that, all they have to do is go to successfulentrepreneur.now.com. And they can just opt in to get a free consumer educational guide. They can see whether or not some of the stuff there resonates with them. And then from there, they will be able to get in touch with me as well. And I will continue, for anyone who does opt in, they will continue to receive some information from me, which is purely to give them more value, because I really want to give them more value. Okay.
Definitely.
And another option that they have is that if they do want to contact me directly by email, they could do that as well by sending an email to coachmenowken@gmail.com.
Awesome.
coachmenowken@gmail.com.
Awesome.
And the last thing that I can offer them as well is that they can go to a page where they can actually get more information about the Inside Lane program, which is a 12-month program. And there's a reason I did a 12-month program, is because I wanted it to be significant, that there would be long-term value there. I didn't want something to be just I'm not saying that short programs have their value without a doubt. Yet I wanted something that was going to be very much foundational. Like I said, the ARC method is within the Inside Lane program. They go through these 5 pillars that are foundational, and that's why I created a 12-month program. They can go to thesuccessfulentrepreneur.now.com. Okay. They can either scroll and read through the content that's there, or there is actually a webinar there as well that they can listen to.
Amazing.
So some people might prefer to listen. Now, after doing that, and this is the part that's so essential, for me, it's important that we're a match. I understand that not everyone's going to be a match for this program. So once they see that information there, if they want to apply to answer a questionnaire to see whether or not they are a match for the program, they can do that. And then from there, potentially we'll be in touch. to come into the program. And I can guarantee you, anybody who is interested right now, there's a really, really great offer right now.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ken. Guys, oh my goodness, go ahead and go to his website, go to his link, get the guide. It's for free. I urge you to go and learn more about what Ken does, how he helps people. And every link that he's mentioned, his email, so forth, will be at the bottom in the show notes. So make sure you go and check that out as well. Ken, thank you for coming along on this show. You've given so many golden nuggets. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
My absolute pleasure. And that's what it is. It's all about fun and remembering this life is way too short. Remember to laugh a lot more every day, especially when you can laugh at yourself.
There you go. Awesome. Love it.
Thanks for listening to Make Your Mark podcast at www.makeyourmarkpodcast.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get this and every other episode that comes out. We have lots of great stuff coming, so make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And thank you in advance for all the reviews and comments. I appreciate it so much, and I look forward to serving you in next week's episode.